Miss Anna, looking very small behind that door. Everything's a bigger scale. So here we are, decorating, because the weather's so dreadful today. We're going to put some paint up in the hall, and it's well needed because it's been done in this kind of very 80s. Remember, like this? I think this is like a rag rolling, or did they use carrier bags? But anyway, this is the hall. It's got some beautiful features left. It's got that ceiling rose, which is stunning, and this really deep set coving and detail. And above the door, it's got a semicircular curtain rail, and that's one of the fixings just there for that. And then we've got our stairs here, which I'm not looking forward to doing the ceilings of that, but that's not today. We're going to do small chunks at a time. So today we're going to do the ceiling and the coving. We're wondering whether we can highlight some of the coving in gold. Maybe that rail there can be highlighted in gold, but for the time being it's going to go white. We've got the toilet downstairs, which, if you remember, is our first finished room. There we go. First finished room. Very happy about that. It's looking lovely. And then it goes down into the library, which at the moment is just full of junk and decorating stuff, as you probably can imagine. So this door goes onto what was the old terrace, but now is a aluminium conservatory, which we've got to do something about. So relatively straightforward. We've got two colours. We've got a darker colour for the base, a mustardy sort of colour for the top side, white and gold on the ceilings, radiators off, stripped back and painted matte black. And then finally we'll do some treatment on the floor, which, as you can see, over the years we've had some problems with the joints here. So I'm going to have to run some marine caulking maybe. It needs to be flexible to allow it to move. Okay, a quick update. We've got the first coat of white on this coving and on the ceiling, and I've also cut in around the frames. It's ready for the undercoat to go on this horrible red finish. It's this stuff, which is so much better than some of the white ceiling paint that I've got before that's just like milk. Pretty much finished the cream on the walls. That's had 3 coats. The ceiling has had a couple of coats, and we are done on the gold. I'm really pleased how that's come up. We've taken some highlights on the ceiling rose there. The dado and the wallpaper panelling below has had 3 coats of this matte charcoal. And then go around. That radiator has been off and it's had its first coat, but I might need to do a bit of touching up on that. I'm not too happy with that at the moment. But I've just got to take the last radiator off, obviously, to drain down of the water, so it's not straightforward. And then I've got just to finish the dado and the panelling there. And then I've just started with the stairs. The stairs has had its first coat, so the stairs are going to carry on round past the curtains onto the other 2 walls up to the hall upstairs. So we've got the last final coats of the yellow on that wall. Obviously the ceiling's done, the lamp is up. Let's just show you the new lamp, which was up on the first floor landing, which looks much better down here now. The boot is all done. All the bottom half has had its final coat. That radiator is all painted and done. And then going down here, this radiator's been off the wall, and that's been done. There's been movement in the wood, but not in the concrete. So what I basically have to do is chase all that out, get back to solid, then refill that. And then it kind of looks like this side, which is nice and smooth. So it's probably ready for its undercoat. And we're undecided what to do about that because my skills at repainting grain effect is pretty poor. So I'm not sure whether we'll paint that in the grey or we'll try and paint it brown and blend it all in. This door needs a lot of work. Just had a quick look. Just rub down a little bit on here, just have a quick look to see what the condition of the wood is. It's hardwood, it's beautiful wood, it needs a lot of work. We'd like to put clear glass back into these because we've got quite a nice view then of all the metalwork and then into the courtyard. The hall has had its first coat. It needs a dado rail or some sort of finishing rail to be put on here. And I've got some old MDF moulding for that. I've just put a socket in to the hall. I'm just going to put another socket in up here so we can run a lamp on that little landing there. Oh, the other thing is I've painted all this moulding. If you remember, this is the cheap moulding that we've used before, and that's had its first coat of gold. And we're going to make some boxes here, some frames. So I've cut all the timber ready for that. We're going to have looking back, we're going to have a big, slim boxes on this wall here. So we'll see what that looks like. If that looks good, I might do some more of that. Okay. I've been working on the back door. So unfortunately, we couldn't apply a stain to that. It was too far damaged and it would have been covered in filler. And so it's had its first coat of gloss. And this also had obscured glass on the top and the bottom panels. These are hinge out panels, which are quite nice. So I've already taken the crinkly obscure glass out of the top two, and I've put some clear glass in there, which we had in one of the barns. I've got a load of glass here for the house, I imagine, for spares. And outside, I've got the two frames, which I'm just taking out the glass in, which are the same as these frames here, you see. And they're quite nice because they, all seized up, yeah, they hinge open. One thing we have noticed is the amount of light that comes through now from the outside, because that's clear. And there's no reason for it to be obscured because no one can get up there. It's actually going into what's going to be called the Colonial Room, which is a fancy word for the conservatory. So I'll just show you what I've been doing with the glass. So these are the glass panels, two of them, either side of the door. And if you have a look close up, the corner there has got a little rivet in it, which is duplicated at the top. And then that section then comes away, and that looks like that. It's quite unusual really. So there's the hinge point at the top and the bottom, and then I've chased this one out already, really old putty in there, and now I'm just finishing taking, you can see this piece is in one section, so I've got the horrible job now of taking out all the glass from these troughs, cutting new glass, measuring it up, and I'm going to use sealant to put these back in, not putty. I'm going to use a bit of silicone sealant all the way down there, and that'll be a nice clean draft free finish. So part of the hall, the original part of the hall, had this lovely hardwood key holder. So got all the hooks off. I've given that 3 coats of varnish, 3 or 4 coats of varnish, so that's lovely. That's only a satin varnish as well, so it's not too in your face. And then we've got these gold clips here, and then these ones over here. So I'm just going to give them a dusting over of gold and then pop them back on. So we have the back door finished. Very happy the way that's come out. There's the radiator that's been finished. And then down here, if you remember the original key sort of board, that's been restored. And we've got a picture waiting to go into that glass frame. So I've replaced the glass, cut a new backboard. So that's ready to go up. They've been finished. New glass on the top. We took away the obscured glass on the top and then replaced that with some clear glass. Just put some new beading around that to make that look smart. And then we've taken all the door furniture off, and that's gone into the range, into the firebox to have all its paint taken off and resprayed. So yesterday I put up the dado, so continuing round on that height here, new dado. Some strange angles though. That first angle there was 17 degrees, so that runs now all the way up. And that's ready for having its first coat of primer. So that's in, and now I'm just about to tidy up this window reveal. Same as everywhere else, where the this is a concrete finish, and it's actually been given this wood grain effect, but this is timber, and this alcatraz is timber, so there's been some movement over the years. So I need to finish chasing that gap out all the way around. That needs to be filled, and then we get some primer on it. So we're going to do the frame exactly the same as the downstairs front door. So the sort of grey brown on the outer frame, and keeping the timber, the hardwood, on the main windows. So we filled all the frame, and that's been rubbed down and prepared. So what I'm doing now is just putting an undercoat on the window, and then tomorrow it can have its first gloss top coat.